What's going on? It's your boy J Black, aka Blackman. Today, we gotta run that fade. We're here at Bullpen Battle League. This Saturday, it's going down. And today, you see the title. You see the motherfucking title. Today's a critical analysis, a weigh-in per se, for Daylyt versus John the Donovan. Excuse me, Jonathan the Donovan. Either one is fine. Now, if you're not familiar with the weigh-in series, the imprint on the J Black brand, this is where I kind of give an in-depth breakdown of who would win. This is far beyond a prediction. You feel me? This is way far beyond a prediction. A prediction for me is off the top of the dome. I mean, I may say this and that, okay, this makes sense for him to win that battle, but a weigh-in for me is kind of critical. I'm going into a lot of detail on certain things that I see that could possibly edge that person over on another guy. Okay?
Run his fade!
I want to give y'all kind of a brief history. This match has not just popped up out of nowhere. This match has not just come out of fruition from out of nowhere. That didn't happen. Daylyt versus John the Don has been in the making for quite a bit of time. This is just a quick brief history. If you didn't know, in a lot of John the Don matchups, he goes, wake up. People sleeping on me. Bars at the bars, they sleep on the crowd sleeping on me. I mean, I can think about, I don't have the exact Twitter reference for Daylyt, but after John the Don battled Averb on Smack URL, immediately Daylyt jumped on Twitter when it dropped. He said something funny. I forgot exactly what he said. He said something like, they not sleep, you just ass. You know what I mean? He had me fucking dying. He said something along the lines of that. So and every time he's antagonizing John the Don on Twitter, he's meeting him up in interviews. I remember this one interview for 15 Minutes of Fame, I believe. He walked up on John and said, I'm gonna bust your ass or some shit like that. I'll put that in the description below. You can check that out when you get the time. He said, I'll fucking smoke you. This is during the Sharon versus John the Don match. Iron Solomon versus Daylyt. So you can tell how far this goes back. You know what I mean? But let's get into the battle. Let's get on to what could it possibly come about. The results.
Run his fade!
First up, we have performance. Who is the better performer? For me, they're equal. You don't look to John the Don for performance. You don't look to Daylyt, so to speak, for performance. And we know for this year he's not doing antics. So if you consider that performance, so to speak, nah. So for me, they're both equal. Against Wavy, he did performance. You know what I mean? The whole walking like the ankle shit, you know what I'm talking about? You know, when he flipped, it's a Wavy shit against him. I guess if that was you consider a performance, but that's not what he does on an everyday basis. That's not what he does in every battle. You know what I mean? He's just strictly bar for bar. And when I say performance, I mean utilizing the ring, moving about. All your bars being heavily performed. For the most part, they both don't do that. And a lot of times, Daylyt is too intricate to perform every single bar. So I don't give the edge to either one of them. Next, aggression. Again, I would say they're equal for the most part. If we were talking about the old Daylyt, you know what I mean, the Daylyt that had something to prove, I'm talking about the Daylyt versus Rich Dollars in the third, the Daylyt versus Philly Swain. Daylyt gets in your face now, and I'll give the edge to Daylyt in aggression. I'll give a slight edge to Daylyt. We don't look to John the Don as being an aggressor. You know what I mean? He doesn't go crazy on a nigga. You know what I mean? He relies heavily on his bars. And another fact, he's just too tall to go crazy, beat up a nigga. He gotta go like this to be in a nigga face, you know what I mean, being aggressive like that. So I'll give Daylyt the slight edge, you know what I mean? And I seen a brief trailer where Daylyt was all up on Jay Murder, pause. You know what I mean? He's in his face in his grill, let him know like, oh, this shit can get real. So I'll give Daylyt the slight edge on that.
Run his fade!
Next we have bars. I have to choose my words wisely here. so y'all can see where I'm coming from. I have to articulate myself 100% so you see where I'm getting at. You feel me? Who has the better bars? This could be a whole fucking blog itself, but you know, it's the way, and I'm gonna give it to y'all. Understand what I'm saying here. So I have the points in my head, so understand what I'm saying clearly. Let's not flip it out of context, you know what I mean? I think Daylyt has the better bars. On a scale from 1 to 5, Daylyt hits that 5 mark a lot more than John the Don. Daylyt, for the most part, says the more crazier, oh my God, shit than John the Don, in my opinion. However, there is a but. There is a but. John the Don is more consistent with the bars. So who would you edge it to in this department? If John the Don is more consistent, it's consistency versus overall more crazier. John the Don brings it every battle. He hits that 3 mark every battle. You want to give it to the splash brother that hits the 3 here and there, here and there, here and there, and sometimes, you know, it's a splash. Or you want to give it to the guy that drives it to the hole every time, every game. It's up to you. For me, I'm edges to John the Don in this department. But the thing about that is Daylyt has been, you know, a tad bit consistent in 2016. So, but I'll still give it to John the Don in this department.
Run his fade.
Moves. You know, when I say moves, that's, you know, I kind of, you know, prepped y'all on this. Moves is like a Showtime. Moves is like a remix. Daylyt move to me would be the ski mask. Or I'm going to talk some real shit in the third. As he does, you know, frequently. You see versus Oops, versus a lot of people. You know what I mean? We're against ORAD. John the Don move to me is flipping. You gotta understand, he kind of beat the shit out of Wavy when he said, oh yeah, that's a nice move you got there. Watch this. Ankle shit again. Bill collector when he turned into 3 different people flipping their shit and hurting them. So whether you hate that or you love it, it's effective. But how do you flip Daylyt ski mask? John the Don is not gonna wear a ski mask. I don't see that happening. You're not gonna do that, John. Don't lie to me, nigga. I know you. I know kind of your pattern, your blueprint. I don't see that in my head. I don't see Daylyt wearing a ski mask. This is kind of awkward category for me right now. Who has the advantage in this category? Let's say equal again. It's equal again. I think both of them had the same level here.
Run his fade.
Next. Run my fade, nigga. Preparation. This is a funny way into me, man. Because it's a lot of this shit is equal. It makes it hard for me to just pick somebody. John the Don battled Big T July 9th. Daylyt battled J Murder July 9th. Both had battles throughout the year. You know what I mean? Around the time where John the Don did Double Impact, Daylyt did the bunker against the Saurus. You know what I mean? And John the Don told me this match was going down months ago. So they had the equal amount of preparation, and for the most part, they took the same amount of battles, so they can't like, oh my goodness, I didn't write for this, I didn't, you know, they both had equal prep. They had both equal prep going in, so I'll have to say equal again for this category, obviously.
Run his fade.
Home field advantage. Atlanta, Georgia. John the Don has the advantage, apparently, right? But the thing I realized with Daylyt, wherever he goes, he turns that audience into his. When he battled Calico, did it look like Calico had the home field advantage? When he goes to New York, when he steps on stage versus Oops, when he steps on stage versus anybody, RBE, against J Murder, did it look like they had the home field advantage? That's the thing. People fuck with Daylyt globally. when he battled Pat Stay. Did it look like Pat Stay had the home field advantage? I mean, they both got love. That's the thing I'm saying about that. So wherever Daylyt goes, he's going to get love, and his opponent's going to get love. So I don't see an advantage for John Don in that aspect.
Run his fade.
So with everything being that close, with neither John Don or Daylyt getting that much of an advantage in any category, pretty much, I'm going to have to go to my final thoughts, my conclusion to who I feel is going to win this one.
Run his fade.
John Don cannot lose this match. This is John Don's league. This is John Don's field. He's bringing all the host. How can you lose this one? If you lose to Daylyt on the 16th, Bullpen Battle League fade going down this weekend. If you lose to Daylyt, I'm going to laugh at you. How you set up a match and die, John? And the thing about Daylyt for me, if I could say anything about Daylyt, and this should make sense to a lot of you niggas, Daylyt can be the best. Technically, Daylyt is a god in battle rap. Technically, so to speak, his pen, the way it moves swiftly when he wants it to. I'm going to take y'all back about 15 years ago. A cartoon called Pokemon. Let's say I'm Ash Ketchum, right? Daylyt is Charizard. Daylyt shows up and kills things when he wants to. We can't control him. If you say Daylyt do Fire Blast in this match, you don't have enough gym badges to make him do that. I can sit here and say Daylight's going to kill him. No, I don't know that. It depends on how Daylyt feeling that day. Daylyt controlled the shit out this entire match. We don't know. We don't have enough gym badges to make that estimate. That prediction on what Daylyt actually will do. With that being said, I will give a slight edge to John Don in this match, in this weigh-in. I'm not saying Daylyt can't win this one, but John Don has to win this one. He doesn't have a choice. This better be the best fucking John Don we've seen all year. And that's a fact. You're the main event for your league. The brand grows with you. You're not allowed to lose, John. The Don, nigga. If Daylyt beats you, that's his league now, nigga. It's your motherfucking boy J Black, AK Black, man. We here at the Bullpen Battle League. This Saturday is going down.
Another question I got is what's going on with Bullpen? What you doing with that? Oh, Fade 2016 next week. What the fuck Daylyt up to? Stay right, stay very consistent. You know what I'm saying? Fade 2016, man. That's our biggest event. You know what I mean? Bullpen, I just put them on TV July 22nd. Y'all logging Lifetime TV for the Rap Game Season 2. Jermaine Dupri came through to a Bullpen event, and that's going to be a whole episode. It's going to be about battle rap. You know what I mean? So, now how you feel?
Now we be surfing off of them 30s. Look loud, packing that backwood. We surfing off of them 30s. Look loud, packing that